This is your host for the most of the time here in Sunnyside, Dubai, and I'm glad I have my buddy Vikram. It's been a long minute. It's been a hot minute. It's been a long time. It's just been a long time, man. So I got to catch up with him. Definitely, we go way back. I think like in 2022, and got him on some different shows and stuff. Just talking about DIDs, and now he's talking self-sovereign identity. And I think, and for me, he's like my go-to guy when it comes to identity and especially decentralized identity. So to me, it's really a fascinating topic, and he's also well versed with the Indian ecosystem and especially what's happening in India. There's a lot of major strides taking place, which definitely you guys need to be aware. I mean, whether you're in India or overseas, I think there's a lot to learn from this space. So before we dive into all that, just want to welcome Vikram. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much, Marcos, for inviting me. I'm always excited to talk to you because you bring the most relevant questions from the community, and I always love to talk about this. So I would start with my introduction. Just for the newer members in X who don't know me, I am Vikram, co-founder at HyperSign ID Protocol. HyperSign ID is a decentralized identity infrastructure built using Cosmos SDK. We have been building from last 2 years. We started actually end of last bull run, and so it took some time for us to build the infra. Until last year we were finishing up infra, and last year second half we started doing some product research once our infra was ready, and we decided to go head first in the KYC space. The reason for this was that because we see, like, due to a space getting a lot of attention and heat now, previously it used to be just a thought that real world assets can be minted on chain, but with help of regulatory bodies getting in crypto space, and now they are able to have more understanding of the crypto space. We can see more and more RWA projects are getting built, plus the market cap of RWA projects are getting bigger, plus more and more regulations are coming, although we like it or not like it. But for general people, they need some sort of in order just to get convenience or just to have trust. Although it started as a trustless ecosystem, but now we are going back to that, back to zero. But I do feel that after finishing this whole cycle of again trusting on regulatory bodies or whatnot, people will start understanding the technology behind it, and automatically we go back to trustless. So anyways, sorry for the diversion there. So due
Oh,
to
good stuff. Those are good stuff.
regulation coming in, plus more and more real world projects getting on chain, we saw that the first thing they need is KYC. And bringing KYC for blockchain ecosystem is completely different than the Web2 sort of KYC design. So we thought, like, our infrastructure completely fits into this space, and why not tap onto some customers if we can on this bull run? Everybody needs KYC to launch your token or to do airdrops or whatnot. Due to regulation, KYC is becoming norm. So our team did research. We have now zeroed into 4 launch partners. One of them is a layer 1 blockchain, 3 are RWA project, and in this year we will be launching the KYC product. So thank you very much. That was my introduction, and happy to talk more as we go.
Yeah, no, first of all, no, thank you for giving a little backstory. And also, I'm glad you touched upon where we started with trustless, but now we are taking a few steps back. But I would agree with the sentiment that I definitely do believe that we'll get it back to trustless. I think just because the masses, slowly people will take a serious note on what this blockchain technology is all about and how you could protect your privacy and have sovereignty like on a whole nother level. So I think it's just a matter of time. And I don't think we need a lot of people. It's just we do need like a certain amount of people to hit that critical mass. After that, everyone follows, so to speak. So that's my case. That being said, I know you have done some research study learning about what government agencies are doing in terms of KYC, privacy, compliance. I know you have worked with a large scale event ticketing platform, and I believe some other project too. So I know I'm asking three of you. I know I asked three, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So let's go. Let's start with working with. I guess you did some research with learning about the government agencies, how they view privacy and KYC, and I'm sure there's some interesting details, especially with the Indian ecosystem from the union level and the state level and other levels as well. So I'm sure it's quite an interesting situation.
Yeah, but before I jump into that, I would just like to again talk a little bit about my company, because I have been
Sure.
keeping a very low profile, but now I have to come out and speak about our process. So there is a trust gets established among the ecosystem that HyperSign ID infrastructure is one of the best ID infrastructure, and people building in this bull run may think of opting for it. So basically, in our company, we have three different teams, you can say. One team work with lobbying with government agencies. When I say lobbying, we are not actually integrating anything, but we are trying to understand their problem statement and in what use cases they are implementing decentralized identity. Because as you see, more and more government agencies are adopting decentralized identifiers and verifiable credential design. So it's very interesting to understand their implementation and their problem statement, because that gives us thought to go back to our whiteboard and then come up with a product which is aligned toward different ecosystem and possibly get us customer faster. So that's one team that does that. The second team works on finding use cases and problem statement in the DeFi space. DeFi meaning regular blockchain space, what can work, what cannot work. And the third one is a team which actually does implement product for these different space. So basically two teams work on different verticals to research, and one team implement it as a product or take a decision whether we should invest in building product like that. So last year, while we were wrapping up our infrastructure, the research team worked with couple of different use cases. One was a large scale event organizing company. When I say event organizing company, they are a ticketing platform called Book My Show, and we partnered with one of their invested companies are directly dealing with Book My Show events, and we implemented a zero knowledge proof based age verification for some of their largest events in India. And one of the most important one was MotoGP, which happened in Delhi for the first time in India, and we were the only vendor providing know your age without actually exposing your age before buying alcohol. So this was the use case where we worked. 5,000 plus users had come. It was amazing to see our technology getting implemented and used for this use case. That was one. Then we are working with in India, not directly with Aadhaar system. Please try to understand we are not officially partnered with them or they are not using our solution, but we are working with their research team also along with the Data Security Council of India to understand the problem statement where we can implement privacy for Aadhaar verification. The reason being, till until last year there was no privacy policy in India, and this year they launched data protection and data privacy bill. Because of that, now existing process of Aadhaar has to be changed. And why it has to be changed? Because at the lower level is the system that stores and manages our ID. Then they have third party Aadhaar system provider called KUA and sub KUAs, and these third party API providers actually sell to customers to provide this Aadhaar system as an API. So that's how it is scalable, and that's how it is structured. The issue is that the data is not supposed
Right.
to be on the third party sub KUA providers. It's written in the document, but there wasn't any law binding them that they cannot store. But now with the help of data protection and data privacy bill that has come, they are now enforced to change their architecture. And the easiest way to implement a privacy system would be using HyperSign data vault along with our zero knowledge KYC, with which they can completely encrypt and verify private information, which is basically the Aadhaar, different parts of the Aadhaar identity. So this was a major research because some information our team got to know much before than any other competitor just by working in the space with them in research space. Actually, Aadhaar is trying to bring their system like this, similar to this, but they didn't know how to monetize that. But we ourselves had built a system on top of Aadhaar system of complete privacy enabled APIs, and we were monetizing. We have some customers. It's just a proof of concept for us, but it was amazing to get this through to the, I will share with you a picture that this year actually we went to our office and we demoed it and we got good appreciation. Plus they started understanding with us like how we are monetizing. So that's one another interesting use case we worked on last year. The third is we partnered with, forgot the name, Digi Yatra Foundation. Digi Yatra is the biggest self-sovereign identity implementation, not just in India, across the globe for travel passport. In India, now across all the major airports, you can enter without providing any document, just your face is your ID. But interesting part is the privacy angle. Usually in the centralized design, your face information gets stored in a centralized server and then it gets verified across different service providers. But in case of Digi Yatra, the signature of your face is stored in a mobile device, and with the help, first time when you scan your QR code and you scan your face, automatically all the system is able to verify that who is the issuer of this information, and this face ID was not tampered, and it is not stored in any centralized server. So the data is with the user, complete privacy, so less chances of data hacks. Plus, user is able to control for how long they want to provide this data to the airport company. So there is Indian
Hmm.
Airport Authority, then there are private agency who owns these airports. So Indian Airport Authority has a foundation called Digi Yatra Foundation, who has built this privacy preserving identity system on top of Aadhaar. And then privacy system, you can provide the KYC to airport, but you can control for how long. So for example, now if the ticket says your face information will be there in our server for, let's say, 2 hours, before it was not enforced. Now you can actually click a button and enforce it that, hey, my flight is at 9 a.m. and it is just 1 point from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. The data should be there, and after that it should get deleted. So you can control that from your user's device. So this has never happened before, at least in India, or I have not seen it across the globe. You might have the same user experience like
Yeah.
China. Everywhere you go, your face is an ID, or even in UAE, your face is an ID, but you don't control how long giving this face information, which is very unique in India. And India is now trying to use this as a stack and sell it to other countries. So as a company, we want to be as close as possible with them and try to align with this infrastructure that they are building, and see, ours where we can fit into that value chain and possibly get some customers. So that's some of the research that we have done in last 6 months.
Wow, that kind of research last 6 months, man, that's a lot of research, man. That's a lot of time, effort. But hey, but kudos to you and your team, man, because man, I can imagine just going to these government offices, meeting with the people, demoing it, and trying to like also educating too. It's not because yes, you are doing business development, but I think most of the time you're just trying to educate a lot of the teams over there, the researchers, government officials, and also same time too, like also you being a steward from the blockchain space, you're trying to protect the citizens' privacy, data, and how to balance these two. Like, it does play such a big role. So, man, I just want to say, congrats to you and your team, man. I'm sure that's quite the effort, and also trying to figure out the monetization side of things. That itself also requires a lot of thoughtful and I would say insightful process.
Yeah, the most interesting thing for me is always how easy I can make their life for building these use cases using our infrastructure, because we spent like almost 5 years building the most simplest and easiest SSI infrastructure, cheap, flexible, best user experience, developer experience, and cheap to integrate. Any business look at all these things: security, safety, security, privacy, of course, because it's privacy preserving, then cost wise how good it is, and how easy it is for the developers to it was a hackathon project. It started as a hackathon project as back in 18, 17 and 18, 19, those days, and later on it evolved into complete infrastructure. So my responsibility is to make it seamless for dev to use it. And while working with these businesses and the government agency, I could see that very seamlessly we could integrate. In 1 week of time we were ready for MotoGP, 6,000 plus users coming in one time to the event. It's crazy number of transactions,
Wow.
everything working.
Wow.
And the second one was basically building this KYC system for DeFi protocols. It just took 2 to 3 weeks for my team to build end-to-end KYC system using our ID infrastructure. Though KYC part is separate, like capturing your face, verifying the documents, the off-chain things, it takes time. But when it comes to bringing it on-chain, that was just 3 to 4 weeks of time. Actually, we have been working with the customer and we could deploy it so fast. So, which brings me to say that like we are now on par with the existing competitors such as Polygon ID or other ID projects. We might not be as big as them in terms of our market cap, but our infrastructure is seamless and much cheaper than existing providers. So yeah, for me as a founder, main thing is that how easy my infrastructure, and that is why
Hmm.
even though I'm tired, I'm sick, but still, even with just a small team of 6 or 7 people, we have divided our roles and everybody is dedicated to their role. So we are able to do so many things in short period of time.
Wow, no, that's good. No, that's see that's the one thing I love about being in the Web3 space. You know me, I have interviewed and talked talked to so many startups, like worked with many startups and stuff. And one of the qualities I absolutely respect, appreciate is having the resilience, especially within the teams too. Obviously, there's going to be some challenges, but to be able to work together and just figure out, decide on the right direction, where to go. Sure, there are going to be mistakes along the way, but you experiment, you re-experiment, and you just keep moving forward. Oh, you fail your way to success. So that's I just love what you shared right there. Like just to be as a founder, trying to be flexible, be nimble, and also I think to me it's like a David and Goliath kind of story, right? Look, Polygon is great. I met the team over here. You also know the guys too on a personal level too. But it's actually cool that you guys are competitive. And also, I think it's about time people know, you know what, HyperSign is ID service is comparable or even maybe not maybe more better than Polygon ID. So I think you gotta put yourself out there and be bold about it. I think I feel that's my take. I think to be bold and tell people, hey, we got this.
I mean, see, there are two parts: your product and your company. So these are like two different things. We, as all the ID infrastructure projects, mostly we are all friends. We share our research to each other. So that way, we are not competitive at all. Like we work together in order to understand this space because it's a newly developing space, and we actually want the overall market cap of identity category on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap to go higher and higher. So if Polygon ID has a token, let's say in future, and it comes with hundreds of billions of dollar worth of value, it gives me immense pleasure to be part of that ecosystem. And even though I'm not there in terms of ranking, but I'm adding some value that maybe some research they adopted us, something we learned from them. So they were the first one pioneers in this space, no doubt about that. A lot of learning from them, especially on-chain credentials and on-chain ID stuff. We learned a lot. But when it comes to business, we have to be ruthless, and because we have to pay ourselves, have money to feed our families, so that way we have to be competitive. Where although we knew before, like the last bull run, we were very new, so I was not sure like how I'm going to survive this bull run with such a small fundraise, and I had taken such a huge product to build. But by end of last year, I could see that I survived the whole bear market, man, and with a very bare minimum amount of money, and then started getting some traction. Like people actually started appreciating what we have built, although not many protocols are being built on us for sure, because our market cap is not that high. So people are still, because in crypto it's like market cap is the trust. But I have learned that the other part of it, now I am half degen, so I am very matured founder that way. And my next focus is that, like how to up my ranking in the coin market chart. And for this year, my focus is that, because we have narrowed it down. This year we are going to only focus on one use case, which is KYC. Remaining, all our effort is going to go on working, increasing the trust among the retail investors, increasing trust of our company as a company, building the brand. We don't know how we will do that, but at least we made our mind. Now we are all aligned with that goal. So hopefully end of this year will be far more better as company as well, just not the product. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, totally. Oh, totally agree. Yeah, I get it. That's important. I'm glad that like you're having this focus because once you have clarity and focus, everything else grows. Because I think a lot of times, I guess, as a startup founder, a lot of people try to be clever or try to be, I guess, supposedly innovative. But I think to me, being, especially in the startup phase as a startup founder, to me, clarity is greater than being clever. So having that focus, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm going to do. Keep it as simple. All resources, full gears, let's go. So instead of trying to do so many things, I think, and I know because I remember even myself, many people in the coffee crypto community, even Society X, they're all the same. But we made that mistake of trying to do many things. So then later we come back, hold on, wait a minute, we need to step back. So, and then we try to aim to focus on that stuff for the future. So speaking about the future, so now you shared about something, three great use cases, the things that you're doing right now, and you also shared the backstory. So what is your vision for the future for Hyper, and now with focus on the KYC side of things? What does the future
Yeah.
look for you? How do you see it?
Yes, one thing that now we are doing is is our vision has to be, I know the vision is big. All the product in the ID category has the same sort of vision, bringing privacy enabled identity verification. But
Yeah.
everybody has their
Right.
own strong point in their own team or in the region that they belong to, that stronghold. And with that help of that, the market decides actually many things that you don't have control on. So although we did the research, we built the infra, but when it comes to use cases, it works on who are our friends, what type of deal we can crack. So I have short term goal, which is like for next 2 years, and then I have long term goal, which is definitely the bigger vision. So the short term goal for me for this year is to get to as many, at least in our a specific region. Everyone should love HyperSign KYC and should understand that hey, this KYC works on SSI infra, because when you are going to opt for KYC, you're not just, it's not a simple KYC system. You actually log into a ID cloud, and then you first enable certain types of mod which
Mm.
will guide you through SSI stuff. Okay, set up your SSI infra. You need to buy credits for credentials and then set up the KYC infra. Then you need to assign the SSI infra as a backend for your KYC infra. These are all different components of this cloud. So I am guessing the more customer we are boarding on our KYC infra, they are getting educated to our SSI infrastructure. So the use case actually probably would drive customer and developers and educate them about the protocol. So my longer vision is still to launch the protocol, but in short, we are going to launch the KYC product. We are going to get as many customers as possible on that, and which is automatically using our infra. Currently the infra is free of cost. Hopefully after, let's say, 100 customer, we launch the protocol. More benefit for the holders. That protocol is also in the pipelines. I hope that within this bull run I'll be able to launch that, so that will be a great position to be in.
Man, awesome. Hey, hey, nicely said, man. Nicely said. Glad to hear that.
To cut you, but just adding to that point, so we finished research also on a full-fledged gaming ID infrastructure. What else we have built, which is not related to KYC at all, but it's all using, oh yeah, Web3 interchain reputation system, gaming ID infrastructure. We have built complete products on top of it, and all these are planned. But we don't want to launch it unless we crack one use cases. Although it looks good as a research, we did it in last 2 years to complete our infrastructure and be ready. But our focus is KYC, so we are going to do some overhaul of the website, of the documentation, make it simplified to suit KYC use cases, and see how it goes. And then we move on to the next use case, and finally the protocol.
Oh, nice. Okay, I am. That's interesting. I love that you talked about the gaming side of things too, because that's also becoming a hot narrative and connecting with, I would say, the Web3 reputation. That's, I think, would be needed definitely in the future. Man, would love to have this further conversations. But before you go, do you have any plans to come to Token 2049 here in
Yeah,
Dubai?
yeah. I'll be staying in Dubai for this month and a half. So first thing, I will meet you in person, and second is of course around Token 2049. Let's try to catch up in as many side events as possible. We all also looking
For
at
sure.
whether our budget allows us to be part of Token 2049. So we'll see if we can promote our solution in during Token 2049 Dubai as well. And yeah, very excited to be here again, and I hope to spend more time in Dubai.
Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Hey, just want to let the people know, especially with Society X, we are planning to have a demo day on April 16, just one day before Token 2049. So we're inviting startups and VCs to come together. It'll be a close event, but hey, I just want to let our fam out there that hey, we got this demo thing going on, and hey, if you got a great idea, and or hey, you want to fund and invest in some great ideas, hey, we got Society X has got something good going on, got a good lineup, and we're still searching. Just wanted to share that out there, and of course, we are inspired by people like Vikram putting great work and building a great idea together, and also adding a lot of value to the Web3 ecosystem. So, man, Vikram, thank you so much. Thank you thank you for your service to the Web3 space, man, and definitely we're looking forward to meet in person. And we also have a special closing party, hopefully on the 19th. So stay tuned, guys. You'll be the first to know. So when that happens, your boy's going to invite you, man. So don't worry. So we got you. So just want to put this out there.
I am super excited. Maybe I would love to few lines about our C product product in your demo day if you don't mind.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
We could try to make it work. Yeah. Sure, let's do that. So, anyways, fam, we gotta go. Vikram has to go too. He has to do some great stuff. And it's Friday. We're ready to bounce out. So, y'all be good. Y'all be safe. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye bye.